So welcome, everybody. It's my pleasure. Actually, this is a formal introduction to the conference. I know we had a great breakfast panel. We had some roundtable discussions yesterday evening for those of you who are there. And now we are starting off with a bit of talk that I'm going to give you some background information, and then our keynote who's opening up the official part of the conference. We are a panel mostly of academics, actually, so we're not as competitive as the last group. But we'll do a good job. I'm sure you we will. Okay, so one of the things we had yesterday evening is, for those of you who are here, we had an Indigenous prayer and song. And I also want to acknowledge that the lands on which we are gathered here today is the traditional unceded Algonquin territory. So just to remind you that this is the Algonquin territory that was unceded, and we're just appreciative of us being allowed to be here today. Over the next 2 days, we will hopefully keep you engaged and excited about participating on what we're describing as a national strategy for disability and work in Canada. So our goal here is to make Canada an international leader in the area of inclusive labor markets. And hopefully this conference will provide you with important ideas on how we can achieve that goal. And you probably have some ideas of your own today as well. We want you to listen closely, as you have been already. Take notes, mental notes, write down notes. Talk to others here as well. Get to know what they're about and where they're coming from. At a certain point in the conference, we'll brainstorm on what we think are the important elements of a strategy. And that's happening actually tomorrow afternoon. So we really want you to be actively engaged over these 2 days so that you can really contribute to developing that strategy. It's a tall order, I know, but we will all have a role to play. So it's something that we're starting off with this conference. This is not going to end tomorrow. This is just a starting point. It's the platform for a way forward for a national strategy for change. We have a number of supporters also that I'd like to recognize formally who have made this conference possible, with which we could not have done this conference. So our hosts, first of all, are the Canadian Council on Rehabilitation and Work, Inclusion and Al, Ontario Network of Injured Workers Group, and the Centre for Research on Work Disability Policy. We have incredibly generous financial support from Employment and Social Development Canada and the Centre for Research on Work Disability Policy. We also have a number of sponsors. We have a platinum sponsor, the International Union of Operating Engineers, several silver sponsors, Canadian Building Trades Unions, Canadian Council of Rehabilitation and Work, Prevention Links, and the Canadian Standards Association Group. And then we also have generous donation from the Canadian Labour Congress. So I would like to thank all of those sponsors who have made this conference possible for us. Thank you. I would also like to thank all, it's premature because we haven't finished the conference, but all of the great speakers we're having here today and tomorrow and yesterday evening at the information sessions. All of these people are volunteering their time to make this happen for us, so we're really appreciative of that. Our planning committee, we mentioned them yesterday, but I'll go through them again. Alec Farquhar, who sits here beside me. Maureen Hahn, who is the chair this morning. Maureen. Kathy Hawkins, who is, where's Kathy? There's Kathy. Kathy Pudkapeeva, is she here? Kathy Pudkapeeva, she may be at the front desk at the registration booth. Steve Mantis, where are you, Steve? There's Steve Mantis. Monica Winkler, she might be over at the registration desk as well, and myself. Another thing I want to mention also is that we are launching a book at this conference called Disability and Work in Canada, Portraits of a System by Dustin Gaylor, that you've seen probably the picture up there that's showing that. There's also at the back of the conference, right near the entrance, there is a little table there with the cover of the book on a placard, as well as a couple of print versions of those books that will be available shortly. If you're interested in purchasing the book or an e-version of it as well, there's information at that table as well to how to contact us, how to get a copy of that e-book. And all of the proceeds from that book are going towards funding this conference and the related community activities. Okay, so now it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Michael Prince. Many of you may know Dr. Prince. He's a well-known name in the area of disability policy. He is a professor in the Faculty of Human and Social Development at University of Victoria. He is also the Lansdowne Professor of Social Policy. He is an internationally renowned scholar in the field of disability policy. His research includes trends in Canadian social policy, federal-provincial relations, trauma of veterans, pension reform, Aboriginal governance, and disability politics and policy issues. As an author, Dr. Prince has over 250 publications, including 19 books, 40 articles in scholarly journals, 60 monographs and research reports, 75 chapters in books, and over 60 articles and opinion editorials in newspapers and professional periodicals. And he is widely sought after as a keynote speaker, so we are really delighted to have him here as our keynote speaker today. Take it away, Dan.